You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Essentia. A better you starts with better hydration. Essentia is on a mission to inspire people to do what matters most. Their proprietary ionization process transforms water from any source into ionized alkaline water, providing water that's 99.9% pure with a pH of 9.5 or higher. Essentia Overachieving H2O, the #1 ionized alkaline water. Shop now.
All set for your flight?
Yep, I've got everything I need. Eye mask, neck pillow, T-Mobile, headphones.
Wait, T-Mobile?
You bet. Free in-flight Wi-Fi. 15% off all Hilton brands. I never go anywhere without T-Mobile. Same goes from a water bottle, chewing gum, nail clippers,
okay,
passport.
I'm gonna leave you to it.
Find out how you can experience travel better at T-Mobile.com/travel.
Qualifying plan required. Wi-Fi were available on select U.S. airlines. Deposit and Hilton Honors membership required for 15% discount. Terms and conditions apply.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and I'm sitting here in an empty studio. All the chairs are empty except for the creepy Annabelle doll in the corner staring at me. But it's sort of a different way of recording here. We appreciate all of your support. Currently, we're actually in a mandatory shelter in place, and while other things in our lives may change or alter for the time being, we want to stay as consistent as possible. So the next batch of recordings may sound a little bit different. I'm here in the studio where all the equipment is, and Ken, Matt, and Jeff are going to be Skyping in from time to time for the next few recordings. So please bear with us if there's any audio issues. We're doing our best to make sure that the content is coming out as timely as it normally does. So that way when you're walking the dog or need a little bit break from the kids, then the episodes are still coming. So without further ado, though, let me introduce first. Jeff is here over Skype. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey, how are you, Neal? It's weird to be looking in at the studio because, this is not a place I'm used to being. So.
Yeah, and it's different for me, too, because this is the first time I'm actually allowed to do the episode with no pants on because you can't see under the table.
I mean, I can see.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. You've seen it before, so it's just old hat. Matt?
And he also said it's just the first time you've been allowed to, not the first time it's happened. So.
That's true. Matt, how are you? You had a recent oven mishap, right?
No, my fridge started on fire, which is now an oven, I suppose.
Right, so you're making s'mores on top of your burning fridge?
Yeah, it's sad. I bought
fridge
100.
Knew that you're pressed for time, so it's just like I can shortcut this and I'll just start cooking your food for you.
Yeah, I never buy groceries. I literally just bought like $100 worth of groceries, and then my fridge starts on fire. So it's great. Things are going great over here.
Good. You're the equivalent of that meme with the dog in the kitchen, right?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
fine.
Well, yeah. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Ken isn't here today. Ken actually is doing a internet course, sort of like a master class on woodworking. He doesn't have any woodworking tools, but he's doing his best to learn that master class, sort of air learning it, so that when he does get tools, he can make some things out of wood, I think. So
he's just doing dovetail joints in his mind. So.
Yeah, so good luck to him on that. Hopefully it won't be a 12 monkey situation by the end of it, but yeah, so thanks, Ken, for learning some woodworking. But we have a very special guest today. He's hosting the episode. He is an Intercontinental Champion from Kansas City, and that is Eric Walling. How's it going, Eric?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm from a little suburb southeast of Kansas City, Lee's Summit. I'm an engineering manager, which is every bit as exciting as it sounds. And 2 days until lockdown with my three children, 8, 7, and 16 months. So we are hoarding all of the proteins and not toilet paper amenities that we can. But yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Well, yeah, thank you for joining us. It is going to be a little bit different here for the next several weeks, and we hope that you and your wife can stay sane with the kids, and you guys can have some fun, and it won't turn into like a Lord of the Flies situation or anything.
Yeah, we bought Mario Party in an effort to try to quell some of the unrest, and it has just created more unrest, unfortunately.
Yeah, if I remember anything about Mario Party back when I was younger, that game can ruin some friendships if you're not careful. So
there's a lot of dad going, no, just pick the other dice. Pick the other dice. Never mind.
Well, we're happy to hear that you're still getting your game on, and you wrote a game for us today. So thank you for doing that, and also for being a Patreon supporter. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys make the long trips that I have to take from time to time a lot more bearable. It's great time kill to sit and laugh and listen. So I was happy to support, and will continue to be happy to support.
Well, thank you very much. Without further ado, I guess let's throw it to the rules guy. Let's see how he sounds today. I think he's battling a cold, but we'll see what it sounds like.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
We can't say he's battling a cold. Now he's going to be extra quarantined.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, that's true. It did sound like Darth Vader, though, so he must have a mask on.
It is also weird having him not appear in the studio like he does every other week. So.
Right, he had to Skype in as well, so it's very strange.
Way raspier than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Let's do a 3-for-all today. So it's going to be Jeff versus Matt versus myself, and it's going to be like old times. It's going to be like when we first started, but we have more personality now, and we actually care what comes out of our mouth, so it should be more entertaining. Eric, take it away. We're ready to play.
All right. Well, let's go round 1, question 1. It's a TV question. In a Season 3 episode of The Good Place, Jason and Tahani return to Jacksonville in an effort to save the soul of his friend Pillboy and his dad, Donkey Doug. In the beginning of the episode, the Jacksonville Non-International Airport is revealed to be named in honor of what wrestling superstar?
I'm almost positive that when I saw this, I screenshot it and sent it to Neal.
Yeah, you did. You did, yeah. I'm trying to remember, too. It's between 2 for me. God, it's really tough now after having done the show for a long time, because part of me thinks it's Macho Man, Randy Savage, because it's one of our mascots. But I almost feel like it's Hulk Hogan, or is it the Ultimate Warrior? No, I'm really confused here. You know what? I want to go Macho Man because it's our mascot, but for some reason I think it's Terry Bollea or Hulk Hogan. So I don't feel good about it. I'm going to lock in with Hulk Hogan.
Neal, I had the exact same feeling. I was between Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and I wanted to go Hulk Hogan because of the Florida connection. I felt the pull to Macho Man, but I stayed with Hogan.
And I went with the Macho Man.
And Neal, the part of you that felt like the Macho Man was the right answer is correct. It is Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah.
That's so disappointing because I love that show and I remember that episode and I just, that one detail did not stick in my head. I just knew it was between 2.
All right, question 2. In a 2019 podcast appearance with Amy Schumer, America's favorite old man party crasher Bill Murray intimated that he had applied to what restaurant chain at Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport, calling it, quote, one of the great places, and, quote, it looks like the best time.
I mean, Bill Murray says a lot of stuff that isn't true. He just kind of says stuff.
I mean, the guy was a zombie for a while.
Yeah, this could really be anything.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on gut. I've got no reason to think I should know this, but Hardee's popped into mind, so I'm going to say Hardee's.
I don't know. I just locked in with I don't even know if it's called this. I just locked in with the Great American Potato Company for some reason.
that is, I think that is a place. It's usually in food courts. I thought it might have been one of those like full scale restaurants they have for some reason in airports, and I was between like Chili's and some of those places, but I said TGI Fridays.
And no points here. The place that looks like the best time is P.F. Chang's.
Oh, that's
P.F.
right.
Chang's.
That's right. I just had P.F. Chang's frozen dinner last night. Hashtag shelter in place.
You thought first.
I should have.
What's the point of eating that at home? Then you can't try and plank the horse.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, question 3. While he's likely slightly more famous for his prolific guitar playing, Jimi Hendrix also trained as a paratrooper in the 101st Airborne Division before being booted from the Army a year later. This may have been useful to aid his apparent aptitude in what board game, which Graham Nash said he was unbeatable at while he was on acid.
Jeff's the board game guy.
I know. I can't think of how a parachute would tie in, but it's going to be something obvious, and I'm going to feel like an idiot. But I feel like dropping in, if that's the clue, maybe. I went Connect 4.
Oh.
Yeah, so if he was a paratrooper in a military thing, I'm thinking something with military, a game you're very familiar with, Jeff. I think it's Risk.
Yeah, I also, had no idea. I figured if he was on acid, he's probably talking about what countries to invade and where to put armies and whatnot. So the only game I know that's like that, I've never even played it, is Risk. So that's what I locked in with.
And the correct answer is Risk.
Hey, points on the board.
Oh,
nice.
It's gotta hurt Jeff.
Jeff is he's simultaneously playing a game of Risk while he's recording this episode on the side with himself. So he's invading Poland right now and trying to defend it at the same time.
I think that's just Eastern Europe. But
I don't know. I've never played the game, so I don't know.
All right, question 4. A famous gaffe on the Stanley Cup involves a row of X's that cover the name of Basil Pocklington, contributor of nothing at all to the Stanley Cup champions that year, but whose son Peter owned what 1983-84 Stanley Cup winning team? A great one, Basil certainly is not.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Eric's clue. I get it. And now I just have to go into my...
It's about The Rock, right?
It is about The Rock, yeah.
The great one.
I know the clue. I can't remember all the teams that the great one was on. Okay, I'm going to lock in. Go ahead, Jeff.
I know he was on a few teams. The only one that really comes to mind, the one he played for the longest time, was the Oilers. So I just locked in with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes. Matt can correct me, but I think he was on the Oilers, the Rangers, and maybe the LA Kings, I guess. I think we're talking about Wayne Gretzky. So I knew when he was young, I think he was on the Oilers. So that's what I also locked in with.
Yeah, he played on the Oilers in the 80s, the Kings for a while in the 90s. He played one season in St. Louis, and then he went to New York. But I'm pretty sure this is the Edmonton Oilers.
It is the Edmonton Oilers.
I just read an article because Tom Brady just signed with the Bucks. So they were saying there was an article on like the weirdest seasons of like a superstar playing in another city, and I had no idea Gretzky was on the Blues until I read through that, and that does seem a little odd.
Yeah, he came back when they had the Winter Classic a few years ago and played on the Blues Old Timers team, and he was by far and away the least tenured member of that team.
Yeah, one season's not a long time.
That's like, so getting Wayne Gretzky to play on your old person team or whatever for like an exhibition game is like playing basketball on the corner with your friends and then bringing like an NBA star. Just give him the ball.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or the puck, I should say.
All right, question 5. Based on the numerous instruction manuals I consulted to write this question, who is the older brother, Mario or Luigi?
Oh.
Feels like it doesn't matter which one I pick, it'll be wrong.
Yeah, it might be 50-50.
Quickly in my brain, I go to the Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo, and I realized in that movie, I believe he's the younger brother, but I just figured, you know what, that movie got a lot of things wrong, so I went the opposite. So I said Luigi's the older brother.
That's so funny because I had the exact same train of thought, but my thought was Bob Hoskins is older than John Leguizamo. so I said Mario.
I know that Luigi is taller, and statistically older siblings are taller, so I said Luigi.
Yes, Bob Hoskins is older, and Mario is older as well.
All right.
Now, did we learn from that movie, isn't it? It's Mario and Luigi Mario, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
It's Mario and Luigi Mario.
Ugh.
And their interpretation of Goombas was really something special.
Yeah, they got little heads, very big bodies, and
yeah, they looked almost.
Sense.
They looked like the creature version of that. Remember that one like YouTube series when YouTube first started, where it was like thumbs that had faces. That's what it kind of looked like.
Oh yeah, like annoying orange.
Annoying orange,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
5 questions in, I have Matt at 40, Neal at 20, and Jeff at 10.
That is really Matt's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit of bias in how I wrote this question, but bear with me. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is inarguably the greatest movie of all time, in spite of myriad issues that plagued its release. On day one of filming, the only camera that the production could afford broke, and at the premiere, the con crowd loved the llama subtitles and cheered when the film stopped right after the opening credits, not realizing that the gold-hatted Frenchmen that entered the theater weren't taunters, but were actually responding to what?
I have no idea what any of this means. I've never seen the movies, so I wrote down.
I've seen it.
I wrote down the one thing I know about these movies, so I'm locked in.
I'm gonna guess maybe there was some kind of accident in the theater. I'm gonna say maybe there's a fire. So they say there's a fire in the theater they were responding to.
Yeah, this is a good question for Ken. He loves this movie. I used to watch this movie all the time in high school with my friends, and the only thing it makes me think of is the fact that I used to listen to the Adam Sandler comedy CDs, and one of the friends I used to watch this movie with all the time stole that CD and never returned it, so I'm still bitter about that. But knowing Terry Gilliam, his films, like, for some reason they always fail, or like something goes wrong, or there's extenuating circumstances or whatever. So I'm assuming that gold-hatted might mean firemen. So I'm saying maybe the film burned up and the projector got on fire, but a little more simply, fire.
Fire. I didn't know anything, so I just wrote down the one phrase from anything I know, and I said that perhaps they were the Spanish Inquisition.
Well, no one would have expected that, but it's actually, so you were right. They were firemen. However, they were responding to a bomb threat.
Oh wow!
Okay.
That everyone thought it was part of the bit, like that the Monty Python had done it on purpose, and they all thought it was hilarious when the firemen ran in and told everyone to leave, and everyone just laughed.
That's why, never have a fire during like a comedy show, because everyone will think it's part of the bit.
That's good advice, Neal. Never have a fire.
Yeah, right.
All right, question 7. A metaphysical thought experiment around whether an object that has had all its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object is based around a ship sailed by what Greek demigod and minotaur slayer?
I am locked in.
Now, that's a good question for Jeff.
Are we looking for the name of the ship or the name of the guy?
It's the name of the guy, the demigod / minotaur slayer.
Oh, great. Demigod. Homer's. I think he's just a normal dude. Oh, well. That's okay. I locked in with Homer.
I think this might be, maybe it's Jason of the Argonauts, so I said Jason.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the ship that belongs to Theseus. So I said Theseus.
That's right. It is the ship of Theseus.
Wow.
It's a classical philosophy problem, wondering whether or not if you replace all of the parts of the ship on the voyage, if it's still the same ship and deserves to have the same name as by the time it arrives.
I'm always...
Like if I have all my parts replaced, am I still Matt?
That is correct. Although you probably have, at least at an atomic level. So
okay.
Yeah, and your operating system or your core has always been the same. It's just the outer parts.
That's
You're
fair.
welcome to have your Sartrean existential crisis right now on the show if you'd like. So
pass.
I'll tell you one thing, listeners. The one thing I need to bone up on is the Isius is. Yeah, does that make sense? The Isius is, the Odysseus is, the Theseus is, all that stuff, Jeff.
Let's go question 8. Currently owned by Global Franchise Group, along with American Cookies, Marble Slab Creamery, and Pretzel Maker, what mall food court staple began in Muscle Beach on the Santa Monica Pier in 1946, selling only lemonade and its titular item?
Ooh, I think I'm locked in. I've been into a mall or two in my day.
Yeah. I have the lemonade sounds familiar, so I could lock in. Jeffrey.
Yeah, when I think of, if I heard pretzels, my mind immediately goes to Auntie Anne's. So I don't know anything about their lemonade. I don't actually think I've ever had one of their pretzels, but I seem to remember them being a staple of food courts, so that's what I locked in with.
Yeah. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Do you remember being at the mall and not being an adult? It's like, we're going to go get a lemonade from Auntie Anne's. So that's what I locked in with.
You could get a nice 1,200 calorie pretzel and lemonade at Annie Ann's. That's what I put to.
No points here. It's actually hot dog on a stick.
Oh.
Hot dog on a stick.
I think they're all replaced by Sparrows, maybe.
New York slice?
Yeah, it's a classic New York slice.
All right. Question 9. A 50-50 question here. According to CelebrityNetWorth.com, the website future billionaires read every day, which disgraced Saved by the Bell star has the higher net worth? Dustin Diamond or Lark Voorhees?
Oh, net worth is interesting because I know that Dustin Diamond has definitely made more money in his career, but
the question
what
is,
does he have left?
Right, how much has he lost from criminal fees and lawyer fees?
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe even though she maybe earned less money, or at least publicly, I'm going to guess maybe she was either better at holding on to it, or maybe she had some private wealth, and I went Lark Voorhees.
Yeah. Recently, they have a Saved by the Bell reboot going on, and Lark was the only one who was not invited, and I felt bad for her because she was an integral part of the original show. And I'm just going to say, maybe like Jeff said, maybe she held on to her money a little bit better, and I went with Lark.
I think she had a lot of personal issues, and that's kind of why she wasn't invited to a lot of those things. But I don't know. I just feel like this guy has been on celebrity boxing and all sorts of other nonsense. I figure he's got to have some money, so I said Dustin Diamond.
It is Lark Voorhees, and it is not even close.
How not even close?
By a factor of 10.
Whoa!
Wow.
What is she worth?
Well, that's the sad part. They have her listed as worth $500,000.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So that means Dustin Diamond, $50,000. Yeah, they have his celebrity net worth at $50,000.
No, that's rough.
Yeah,
that is
trolling CelebrityNetWorth.com.
Does he work at Hot Dog on a Stick, or what's going on?
He might have to. He's not. He still hasn't made himself available on Cameo for some reason.
Oh, he would be a great.
Feels like a missed opportunity. Yeah. He could double his money in a year.
All right, last question of round 1 here. One of Fortune magazine's 100 most influential designers of the 20th century. Tinker Hatfield is a prolific designer of what?
Yeah, I didn't know what direction to take this. I know there's some very famous. I wasn't going to guess an architect, but I was thinking maybe it was somebody in that field or aligned with that field. The fact that Matt knows it throws me off. I think I'm definitely wrong, but I went chairs.
So something that I have in common with this man is that we both worked for Michael Jordan. This guy, I believe, designed the Jordans 2 through 16 to 20. I don't know. He designed a bunch of them, but it's Air Jordans.
Oh, I don't think I'm specific enough, but I just wrote sneakers because I do remember he designed a special pair of sneakers with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, you can give him sneakers. I think that's fair.
Yeah, so I had sneakers. Sneakers was the answer. He has done, of course, the Jordan 3 through, I think, 15, and then some of the later ones as well. He also is the designer behind the Air Max, like Air Max 1, Air Max 0. So he is, sneakers will work. I'll give credit there.
Awesome. Well, we are going to, let's tabulate these scores and see what we have going into the swing round.
Yeah, so I have Matt at 50, Neal at 40, and Jeff at 30.
Thanks for the score recap, Eric. For all of you who are on Instagram, we actually just joined Instagram not too long ago. Matt and I have been populating it with some images, and it's been fun to interact with all of you there. But if you'd like to follow us and see what we're doing over there, we're going to start adding more. We are at Triviality Pod, just like our Facebook and our Twitter. So feel free to join us on Instagram and see what we're up to, right, Matt?
That's correct. I'm taking a picture of my Skype feed right now to let everyone know that you're announcing our Instagram.
Awesome.
And I'll put that right on there.
Sweet. So at Triviality Pod. So, Eric, what do we have in store for the swing round today?
So I am recognized, or university recognized on our team as the music guy. So it is going to be a music-based midpoint.
Okay.
Specifically, soundtracks. So songs off of movie soundtracks. I'm going to give you the song, the artist, and the year. And I want you to give me the movie.
All right.
All right. So, number 1, Ghetto Superstar by Praz and Maya from 1998. Number 2, Gangster's Paradise, Coolio, 1995. Number 3, Meet Me Halfway, Kenny Loggins, 1987. It wouldn't be a soundtrack set of questions without a Kenny Loggins. Crazy for You, Madonna, 1985. See You Again, Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth, 2015. Stay, parentheses, I Missed You, Lisa Loeb and the 9 Stories, 1994. Blaze of Glory, Bon Jovi, 1990. Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, Starship, 1987. Eye of the Tiger, Survivor, 1982. And finally, All for One, Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting, 1996.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
One particular argument, he ended up dislocating Ava's jaw. Ava, she was such a tough cookie. Rather than cry or scream or anything like that,
Or call the police.
Or call the police like she should have, exactly. What does she do? She takes an ashtray and she knocks him over the head and knocks him unconscious. That's how she fought back. She didn't know what to do, so she called Louis B. Mayer. I think I've killed Howard Hughes. What do I do?
Revisit a time when the pictures were still big and everyone was ready for their close-up. When you want Tyrone Power instead of Tom Hardy, Jennifer Jones instead of Jennifer Lawrence, or Robert Mitchum rather than Robert Pattinson, then From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
All the answers are locked in, so let's see how well we know movie soundtrack songs. Eric, take it away.
All right, question 1, or song 1, Ghetto Superstar by Praz and Maya, 1998.
Yep, I guess I'll start here first. Originally, for some reason, I was saying it was Bowfinger because I just watched Bowfinger, but I remember I used to love watching this music video, and it was for the Warren Beatty movie Bulworth, so that's what I locked in with.
I think ODB's on the song too.
Yeah.
But I locked in also with Bulworth.
I'm not familiar with that at all, so I've got nothing.
And yes, it is the Warren Beatty movie Bulworth.
I think it's more known for the song than I don't know anyone who's actually seen the movie.
I've never seen the movie, but you're right. The music video was like, oh, it's
very strange.
Number 2, Gangsta's Paradise, Coolio, 1995.
One that I knew, and the Weird Al parody well, but this is Dangerous Minds.
Yep, I locked in with how my high school teacher was, basically Michelle Pfeiffer, who knew Kung Fu or Karate. So I said Dangerous Minds.
Yep, and Dangerous Minds for the sweep.
Points all around, Dangerous Minds. Number 3, Meet Me Halfway, Kenny Loggins, 1987.
Yeah, I didn't know this, so I think this is an 87 movie, but it might have been later, so I just said Top Gun.
Yeah, Highway to the Danger Zone. Wasn't that the big
It
one?
was, yeah. I'm definitely wrong. Continue.
Oh, and I'm also definitely wrong, but I know Kenny Loggins did Footloose, so I went with Footloose.
Ooh.
Both Kenny Loggins movies. This one I used to watch all the time on VHS. I just watched it a couple weeks ago. When you have a baseball cap on, you turn it backwards. It's like a switch when you want to arm wrestle, and that would be over the top.
It is over the top.
I thought their song was by some hair metal band from that movie.
No, yeah, there's definitely a very corny Kenny Loggins, or it's Meet Me Halfway, but it's...
Meet Me Halfway is maybe the corniest.
Yeah, it has to be, especially when there's the montage of like him and his son driving, Lincoln Hawk, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Number 4, Crazy for You, Madonna, 1985.
This is one that I should know because it came up at Geek Bowl. But usually if there's a question that I should know and it's about movies, I just decide that Neal will remember it for me. And that doesn't work when you're playing by yourself. So I don't know the correct answer to this question.
I put my favorite 85 movie, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I won't forget this one now. At Geek Bowl, our team almost got this question right and kind of stuck with me because when you get something wrong, it stays. And I went with Vision Quest.
That is correct. It's Vision Quest.
Yeah.
I think the question was that it was renamed Crazy for You.
Yeah. Something
renamed what? Yeah.
It was something like that. Yeah, we could not think of the answer. And when you hear Vision Quest, I think I said it when we were deliberating. It sounds like a 90s laser tag place. So that's why I'll never forget it.
Or like a Kevin Sorbo show from the 90s.
Ooh, that's even better. I like that. Or yeah, I like that. I like Kevin Sorbo.
Really? Okay.
No, just for this answer. For this answer, not in general.
Big Kevin Sorbo fan.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. See You Again, Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth, 2015.
So I can
Did we ever
see
figure out which one this was, Matt?
Yeah, so I could see the video. It's Paul Walker. He's dying, right, or dead or something. So I couldn't remember if this was the Fast and the Furious or Fast 5. And I locked in with Fast 5, and I think I'm going to be mad.
Yeah, I think this is later, Matt. I think this is Fast 7.
Yeah, Matt, Fast and the Furious cleanly is 4. Fast 5 obviously is 5. That's my favorite one. It's the best one. If you need help remembering which one this is, James Wan, noted horror director, directed Fast 7, and Paul Walker died during production, and so they had a lot of headache, and then they ended up having this song at the end with the drive-off scene with the CGI face of Paul Walker. So I went with Fast 7.
Yes, 7 Fast, 7 Furious is correct. All right, number 6, Stay, I Missed You, Lisa Loeb and the 9 Stories, 1994.
Did you get this one, Neal?
No, I couldn't. I know after we said what the song was and I was hearing it in my head, I could see the music video. I had no idea, and I think this movie is actually way earlier than I'm saying, but I'm just going to say Singles because I know it's about relationships, so that's what I put.
I feel like the song's been used ironically in movie trailers since then, like as a joke song, but I couldn't think of anything, and I was just thinking of 1994 movies and said Dumb and Dumber.
So I've never seen this movie, but I think I had a VHS where there was a trailer for it on there, and I can't tell you which one. But I'm pretty sure this is Reality Bites.
Yes, Jeff, you do remember your trailers correctly. It is Reality Bites.
See, that's so... Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, no, I was going to say, apparently Lisa Loeb lived across the street from Ethan Hawke, and so they were looking for songs, and so he brought the song with him, and it played over the end credits, and that's where her one-hit wonderdom came from.
That's great.
The 90s were so great for movies like that. I always mix up Reality Bites, Singles, and there's like another one too. I can't remember, but there's like that crop of movies that when I used to work at Blockbuster, they all looked the same, and I couldn't remember how to differentiate them.
All right, number 7, Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi in 1990.
Yeah, I couldn't pull this one. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, just something random to say, but I don't know it. So I'm going to go with the John Bon Jovi soundtracked classic, Dances with Wolves.
Sounds good. It sounds like it means Bon Jovi, so it's probably high energy, probably for like an action movie, I would think, or a sports movie, but I think, I'm not sure, but I said Cliffhanger.
I kind of like that as an answer. I also know it's wrong, but I'm assuming because it won the Academy Award that year, Neal and I picked it for the same reason, but I went Dances with Wolves, despite the fact that there's no way there's a Bon Jovi song in that.
I guess you're kind of close there. It's Young Guns 2.
Emilio.
Right?
Thank you.
So what happened in Young Guns 2? Because I'm not familiar with the franchise.
Well, the first one, it's a bunch of young cowboys, obviously just Billy the Kid and whatnot, and they're fighting. And then the second one, they're still young and they're still fighting.
I thought that was when they found out the secret of the ooze.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Vanilla Ice comes
That's
back
the one
into
where they get Curly's gold.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they come back, and Jack Palance comes, and he goes, "You are my number one guy." That's a Batman reference, sorry.
Thank you.
All right, number 8. Nothing's Gonna Stop Us by Starship, 1987.
Starship had some pretty out there songs. I don't know. I thought this might have been written from the view of the Predators, and I said Predator.
I think that's really funny because I immediately was like, I'm going to say Predator. I have no idea. Obviously, it's just a joke, but...
It is a joke. Is that right?
I said Predator.
Yeah, this one, it took me for a second to think about it, but I love romantic comedies, and as everyone knows. And but before she was on Sex and the City, Kim Cattrall was in a romantic comedy with Andrew McCarthy, and I put Mannequin.
Yes, it is not the rallying cry for the Predators. It is Mannequin.
Wow. It could have worked for either, though. They should really consider that.
They should do a swap where it's Mannequin, but instead of Kim Cattrall as a mannequin who comes to life, it's a Predator mannequin.
All right, number 9. May trip some people up, but Eye of the Tiger, Survivor, 1982.
Yeah, we had a lot of discussion over the little trick there is that everyone might think that this is Rocky, but Eye of the Tiger didn't actually show up until he was fighting Mr. T in Rocky 3.
Yep, I had the same thing. This is like a sort of the equivalent of one of my other favorite trivia questions, which is who's the killer in Friday the 13th? Everyone says Jason, but it's Pamela Voorhees, his mom, and so this one is Rocky 3.
Yep, one that I know because we bring it up all the time. I said Rocky 3.
Yes, it is Rocky 3. They actually wanted to use Another One Bites the Dust, but Freddie Mercury wouldn't give them the rights to the music, and then they went to Survivor, and they wrote the guitar beats to or the guitar hits to Rocky's punches. So I thought that
Ooh.
Fact.
Now, Matt, you'd be able to talk about this at length. Jim Peterick from Survivor, always in Berwyn playing around on his guitar.
Yeah, he went to Morton, so same high school as me, and he shows up at all the local festivals. So we see him a lot. So that's how I know this.
And he was
he won't stop talking about it.
He's like a low-key famous person.
Right,
like, he does like all the local stuff. He does like,
He was at our high school's career day in the science, Mr. Mani's science room, and he was wearing all snake leather. He had a jacket and snake leather pants. So.
Oh yeah, I mean he still dyes his hair like crazy colors, and even though he's like in his 70s, it's great.
Yeah, good for him.
Cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, so number 10, All for One. Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting, 1996.
I'll start here, I guess. I'm almost positive if this is the song I'm thinking of. This was the first song I ever had a slow dance to. I will have the other dancer remain nameless, but I've talked about it before. She was much, much taller than me. I had not had my growth spurt yet, but I remember this song came on. I heard Sting's voice. And the song, I actually ended up dancing for 3 hours because Sting was on the track, but I went with Three Musketeers.
I forgot about that as a movie.
I had no idea. Just thinking, something a little slow possibly would be great for the movie Twister.
I went with a movie that was clearly a couple years later and had a very famous different song as its lead. I said Armageddon. I thought hopefully maybe this was during the montage scene.
No, the 3 artists representing the 3 Musketeers.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you remember, I'm pretty sure it was all for one and one for all. Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yeah, exactly.
So after the midpoint, I have Matt at 65, Jeff at 50, and Neal had a pretty good round. He's up to 80.
Yeah, Neal always crushes swing rounds because everyone always makes them movie or some actor related, and then that's kind of like his time to shine.
Yeah, and then I fall dramatically. So, let's go into round 2. Eric, what do you got for us?
All right, round 2, question 1. In a well-known Norse myth, Thor, Loki, and their servant Thjalfi are made to perform a number of deeds for a giant Utgarda. Loki loses an eating contest to a giant that's later revealed to be fire. Thjalfi loses a foot race to an old woman that's later revealed to be Thought. And Thor loses a drinking contest, but the giant reveals that Thor's horn was attached to the ocean. Thor suffers one last embarrassment when he fails to lift Utgarda's cat, which is later revealed to have been what child of Loki? And I'll give 2 bonus points if you can name the other 2 children of Loki with the giant Angerboda.
If it's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't know it. So I have nothing.
It sounds to me Loki is sort of the Warren Beatty of Norse mythology without contraception.
He's a trickster.
He's a trickster. Yeah, he's a trickster. I'm going to lock in because I have no idea.
I know Loki gives birth to something.
I think you're thinking of Junior, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. I think there was like a wolf, Fenrir, something like that, but I don't. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I'll go. The wolf sounds familiar. I think we talked about a wolf in Loki at some point. But I have no idea. I'm just naming two characters I think that are in Norse mythology. I put Enchantress, which I think is a comic book character, and Death. I don't know.
Oh, and I don't have an answer, so we're good.
All right, so Jeff, you'll get a bonus point here because you did name one of the three children. The actual answer is the world serpent. So he goes to, or I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. He goes to pick up the cat. He can't pick up this small cat, and then they find out later that it was actually the serpent that circles the entire world. The other two kids, children of Loki from this giant, are Hel and Fenrir. Fenrir, the wolf that brings on Ragnarok.
Oh.
And then
Loki's gives birth to Sleipnir as Sleipnir's mother. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he becomes a mayor.
Norse mythology is weird.
It's real weird. Okay, so I have to give a nod here to what I consider my trivia inspiration. A good friend of mine, Matt Iman, who used to host a Tuesday night trivia game. And so I'm going to take a little page from his book, and this is called Dramatic Interpretations by Matt Iman by Eric Walling. So I'm going to read a monologue from a movie, and I just want you guys to give me the name of the movie. Here we go. So, like, right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? Well, it's like when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? I put RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But some people came, like, that did not RSVP, and I was, like, totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, redistribute the food, and squish in extra place settings. But by the end of the day, it was like, the more the merrier. And so if the government could just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians. And in conclusion, may I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty.
So my movie knowledge is very rough when it comes to quotes. I'm not great at remembering them. So I have an idea. So I'm going to lock in.
Yeah, I've got a guess. I think it's super wrong, but I've got a guess.
Yeah, and I'm just going to lock in with Bill and Ted, but I don't think that's right.
I mean, I said Clueless.
Yeah, it does sound very Clueless-like. So I was between Election and Dick. And Election, Reese Witherspoon, though, really, really knows her stuff, and I can't see her saying
I was
like.
I was going to say, it sounds like Reese Witherspoon to me, but...
Yeah, and in that movie, or her character wouldn't say like that much because she's very straight-laced. So I actually went with Dick, with Nixon.
Points to Jeff here. It is Clueless.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was too easy to be Clueless. I thought it was darn it.
All right. Question 3 in round 2. Bir Tawil is an 800 square mile uninhabited area in northern Africa, lying along the border of two countries, yet it's claimed by neither. It is the largest terra nullius, or nobody's land, outside of Antarctica. Name either of the bordering countries that surround Bir Tawil.
Okay. I'm locked in because geography is...
Can you name a northern African country?
Oh, I'm naming countries that are not in northern Africa.
So I thought I'd help you out there.
Yeah.
You only have to name one of them.
I don't think this is between like Sudan and South Sudan, so I went the other way and I guessed Sudan and Egypt because that was the only thing that made sense to me.
I wasn't sure. I had an answer that was hanging on the tip of my brain, and I put Chad.
I went a little further north, and I said Libya.
Again, points to Jeff here. A+ effort because either one would have been fine, and you got both of them. It is Egypt and Sudan. All right, question 4. What is the name of Nintendo's ill-fated tabletop, portable, stereoscopic 3D console / head-mounted display? It launched with such vaunted titles as Galactic Pinball, Tolero Boxer, and Mario's Tennis, but only released 19 more games in the United States after that.
This question's got you seeing red. I'm locking in.
I'm I'm just going to tap because I kind of picture it, but I will never pull this name. So I'm just going to lock in with Jaguar.
I never would have been able to play this either because.
Of course, he went Jaguar. Yeah, I don't remember. I know exactly what it looks like. I know what Matt means when he said he's seeing red because I've seen shots of the graphics, but I don't remember what this was called. Game Gear is going to be my guess, but that's something else, and I think it's wrong. So
Yeah, the Game Gear was Sega's handheld. This was the Virtual Boy.
Yes, it is the Virtual Boy, and
that's right.
Man, it is a headache. And my friend had one, and I thought he was the coolest person in the neighborhood for about a week until I played it, and then I didn't go over to his house for quite some time. It
What's
was
funny
awful.
because it was supposed to be the successor to the Game Boy, and they said it was portable, but you had to put it down on a little stand and stare into it. So, like, where are you going with that?
All right, question 5. In James Joyce's feel-good, easy read, Finnegan's Wake, there are 10 words consisting of 100 letters or more that describe what meteorological phenomenon?
Meteorological. I'm just going to say it deals with clouds. That's my answer.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There's something that happens on the same day as Finnegan's Wake, and I think it's referenced in the book, but I can't remember what it is. I thought maybe if it had some relation to being a particular day, I guess maybe it was like Halley's Comet or something. So I guessed Comet.
I also guessed Comet.
It's actually thunder. So there's 10 words that are over 100 characters long. Finnegan's Wake is a hot mess to read. You got to have books that tell you how to read it. You're supposed to be able to read it backwards and forwards. I have a friend who loves James Joyce, and this question is sort of a hat tip to him because we make fun of him for being in love with Finnegan's Wake all the time.
So there's just so much reading that by the time you actually finish the book, you're actually at your own wake.
Yeah.
That and Ulysses are commonly known as like two of the hardest reads in the English language.
No thanks.
All right. Sportsy question here. The original rules of basketball are actually housed at the University of Kansas here in Lawrence, Kansas, not too far, about 45 minutes from here. Within one, how many rules are in Naismith's original rules of basketball?
I guess there's only 5 rules.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe there was 10, so I put 9.
Ooh, you guys were getting closer. I think it's either 12 or 13, and I'm going to say 13.
Matt, right on the nose. It is 13 original rules of basketball.
That's crazy.
And dribbling is not one of them. There's one of them is
we have a good return to form in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Boo. Don't be that guy.
There's
just traveling.
If a team commits 3 fouls in a row, the other team gets a point. It's a little archaic, but it's pretty funny. Goaltending was not a rule.
You can't punch the basketball, I believe, is one of the rules.
Right.
I remember with a closed fist.
Shorts have to be 12 inches from the kneecap.
At least, yeah.
All right. What are we on? It's question 7. John Blackjack Pershing was the only general in U.S. history to hold the highest rank of General of the Armies while still on active duty. Washington was given this honor posthumously. With what war is Pershing most commonly associated?
Well, I don't know. I think it might have been, probably before Civil War. I don't know. I said the War of 1812, so I don't know.
Yep, I was between the War of 1812, and I can never remember the actual title of this war, where they had the battle at the Alamo. If it's the Mexican-American War, I could be way off.
So.
Is that right? Okay, that's what I put.
I'm pretty sure he was in World War One. I can't remember what he did, but I remember him being in World War One.
Yeah, Jeff, you're right. It is World War One. He was the commander of the Expeditionary Forces on the Western Front in World War One. This is one of my more favorite sports stories of the last decade or so. So there are diva athletes, and then there are English Premier League diva athletes. One of the more over-the-top instances of divaism came in 2014 when Manchester City's Yaya Toure reportedly strongly considered leaving his club because they forgot to do what?
I really need to get more into the Premier League because there's just so much drama.
Yes, the FA Cup is full of it.
Yeah, okay, so he didn't want his M&Ms separated, probably.
They probably forgot to punch Wayne Rooney in the face.
Yeah.
This was, I think, one of the first years Man City was good again. This was right around that time when they went from being like one of the worst teams to one of the best teams because they spent lots of money.
Manchester's pretty spoiled for football teams right now. So
yeah,
I'm gonna lock in.
I don't know the story. I've never heard it. But I think maybe he'd be upset if they forgot to do his laundry. So that's what I said. Clean his uniform, whatever.
I was in a similar boat. I said that they didn't warm his bath towel, when he went to take a shower.
I originally wanted to go the M&M craft services angle, but I decided that maybe he got pissed because they made him do appearances he didn't want to do.
No, craft services was kind of close. They actually forgot or didn't properly celebrate his birthday. They did not make him a birthday cake.
What a baby.
I think Ken did that last year when we forgot his birthday, so I understand.
Yeah, he turned
wasn't
to
on
leave
those
and
couple
moved
episodes,
to
yeah.
Trivial Warfare.
Yeah, right.
He wanted to put in his transfer request.
All right, that was number 8. Number 9. Who was the most recent president that does not have a college degree?
Okay, so I have a guess, and I think it's inside baseball. So I'm going to take a swing at it.
Okay. I'm locked in, so go ahead.
Okay, so I was going all the way back, and I know our current president has a degree. Obama obviously has a degree in law. Clinton, both Bushes, and I went all the way back, and I know I was getting all the way through, like, Kennedy had a degree. Eisenhower was in the Army, but he did get a degree for that. And then before that was Truman. And I kind of remember maybe hearing something about Truman. Now, the reason I like this guess is I know something about him, which is he's from Missouri, and so is our host. So I took a stab at Harry Truman.
Oh, that's a good guess. I didn't know, so my go-to answer for presidents when I don't know one is Grover Cleveland, so I said Grover Cleveland.
Yeah, the Truman angle sounds really familiar. Maybe we heard this before, but I didn't know if Eisenhower had a degree. I just assumed maybe he was chosen due to his military background, so I went Eisenhower.
Yeah, Jeff, some insider pool there, I guess, but yes, it is Harry Truman. His presidential library is in the same town that the Oregon Trail game starts in. It's
Independence,
Missouri. Yep.
I knew that.
And I've had dysentery, so it's trivia all around. No.
Oh, that's tough with no toilet paper anymore.
Hey, if you don't have toilet paper, you just got to get the 3 shells like Demolition Man.
All right, number 10. The 2010 animated film Tangled is centered around Rapunzel escaping her aging captor, Mother Gothel, to see lanterns of a nearby village up close and personal for the first time. What was the name of the village that Mother Gothel attempts to keep Rapunzel from? And as a small hint, it's relevant.
Neal, do you know this one?
I don't know this one. This is one of my favorite Disney movies. Colleen and I have seen it a million times. We love it. We show our niece. So I'm going to lock in with a tap, meaning that I'm going to go 0 for 10 in this round. But Colleen's right here. I'm just curious if she knows it.
Yeah, I felt like this was going to be one that you would have had to seen a million times with your niece, because I know when she wants to watch a movie, you guys just have to watch it over and over.
You don't know? Okay, so Colleen doesn't know either. So this is a tough one. So I'm going to tap. So I'm 0 for 10. I think it might be the first time that's ever happened. But
I mean, Eric said it's currently relevant, and I know I made a COVID joke, and it wouldn't be called COVID, but maybe it's called Corona.
Jeff, backing into it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Corona.
That's so ridiculous.
Corona.
It is called Corona.
That's
yeah,
insane.
Corona is the name of the village.
Great question. I should have known that.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so Neal still at 80, Matt at 95, and Jeff I have you at 101 because I gave you a bonus point for Fenrir.
That was a good round for Jeff.
It was a really good round. So with those scores,
They're coming up, Millhouse.
We're going to go to the final round here, where obviously we can wager and whatnot. But before we get there, just a really quick thank you to all of our patrons, including Eric, for helping support the show. due to kind of what's going on right now, we wouldn't be able to continue the show and keep the consistency without all of your support at Patreon. So make sure to join us at patreon.com/Triviality Podcast. We really appreciate it because it's helping us continue to record and keep the show going strong. So thank you very much for that. And thank you to you, Eric.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for having me on. I've been excited about this since you reached out. And this is, I did not intend on shutting you out in the second half. I do apologize for that.
It's not the first time.
Don't be sorry. I'm shut out in most of life, so I appreciate it.
It's a shut-in who was shut out.
There you go. So what are our final categories, Eric?
So for the finale, I have 5 categories around my 5 favorite trivia podcasts. So category 1, something birds. Category 2, misinformation. Category 3, trivial warfare. Category 4, complete the list. And category 5, triviality.
All right. All the wagers are locked in. Let's hear those questions, Eric.
All right. Question 1, something birds. The Bassian thrush, or olive-tailed thrush, is an insectivorous thrush found predominantly in Australia and Tasmania. By what bodily function method does the thrush disturb leaf piles and provoke worms to move, helping him or them reveal the location of their tasty prey? Question 2, misinformation. In the extremely odd yet grammatically correct sentence that first appeared in Beyond Language, Adventures in Word and Thought, the word buffalo is used in noun, verb, and proper noun form, and only buffalo. So it's a sentence of just consisting of the word buffalo. How many instances of the word buffalo make up this sentence? And I'll give it to you plus or minus 1. Number 3, trivial warfare. The War of the Stray Dog was one of the most bizarre conflicts of the 20th century. It began in 1925 when a Greek soldier was shot while attempting to retrieve his dog, but inadvertently crossed into what country, whom Greece had been at odds with since the end of the Second Balkan War? Number 4, complete the list. Complete the list of the top 5 selling video games by volume of all time. Now, I pulled this from Wikipedia last night, as of March 21st, 2020. This is by units sold. Tetris, blank, Grand Theft Auto 5, Wii Sports, PlayerUnknown's Battleground. And number 5, triviality. In number theory, it's often important to find factors of an integer number, that integer number n. Any number has 4 obvious factors, positive and negative 1, and positive and negative n. What term is used to refer to these 2 obvious factors?
Okay, we are going to take a moment with the questions, and we'll be right back. All the answers are locked in, so let's hear those questions one more time and give our answers and wagers.
Question 1, something birds. The Bassian thrush is an The Bassian thrush is an insectivorous thrush found predominantly in Australia and Tasmania. By what bodily function method does the thrush disturb leaf piles and provoke worms to move, helping them reveal the location of their tasty prey?
I'll start here. Just for the record, since I tanked the second round, I went 0 all the way down. So I did not bet any.
0.
That's right. So I did not bet anything.
What's your current score?
80.
That may prove to be, yeah.
So yeah, for something birds, I didn't know. So I just said regurgitation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been. They just added Beyond the Mat wrestling documentary to Netflix, and there was this one person who had the special ability that Vince McMahon decided was going to change his name to it because he was able to puke on command. So I said puke.
That's not bad. I wagered 10 all the way down on these, and I thought it'd be really funny if it cleared the leaf piles by farting. So that's what I went with.
Points to Jeff here. He farts to clear the leaf piles.
It's funny that bird farts to clear leaf piles, and Jeff farts to clear the studio.
Oh, very effective.
It's effective. And Matt, what'd you wager there?
So I wagered 15 all the way down, so this could be bad for me.
All right, number 2, misinformation. In the extremely odd yet grammatically correct sentence that first appeared in Beyond Language, Adventures in Word and Thought, consisting of nothing but the word buffalo in noun, verb, and proper noun form, how many instances are there of the word buffalo? And that's plus or minus 1.
Again, I had no idea here, so I went with my favorite number. I said 4.
So I just said 8.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's buffalo, 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 buffalo. So buffalo, from buffalo, bully other buffalo from buffalo, that they buffalo, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how it works, but I said 8. So.
And that is correct. It is 8. 8. So
Wow.
The literal translation, buffalo bison, that other buffalo bison bully, also bully buffalo bison.
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
Number 3, trivial warfare. The War of the Stray Dog was one of the most bizarre conflicts of the 20th century. It began in 1925 when a Greek soldier was shot while attempting to retrieve his dog, but inadvertently crossed into what country, whom Greece had been at odds with since the end of the Second Balkan War?
Again, with 0 here. Had no idea. Just thought maybe Turkey.
I wasn't sure. Just a country in the area that I know has been involved in a few different disputes. I said Albania.
My gut said Macedonia, and I can't remember any different. So
it is actually Bulgaria. Bulgaria. All right, number 4, complete the list. Complete the list of the top 5 best-selling video games by volume of all time as of the Wikipedia page that I pulled it from last night. Tetris, blank, Grand Theft Auto 5, Wii Sports, and PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
I thought it could be between one of the Call of Duties or another game like that, but I kind of remember Red Dead Redemption having a huge sale, so that's what I went with.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because if you count in all the digital sales and the repackaging and reboots of the original Super Mario, I'm sure it's probably like far and away, but I don't think that counts towards these original sales because otherwise other games would be up there too. So I picked, seeing GTA 5 and PUBG made me think it's a more modern game, so I said Minecraft.
That sounds like a real good answer. Although I'm pretty sure mine is still in the top 10, and I did go with Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, points to Matt. It is Minecraft.
Yeah.
That game's everywhere, but I'm not 12 years old, so I forgot about it.
I have no idea how to even boot that game up, but it is.
You can get it for your
very
Xbox.
popular.
So.
All right, and the final question is triviality. In number theory, it is often important to find factors of an integer number n. Any number has 4 obvious factors, plus or minus 1, positive or negative 1, and positive or negative n. What is the term used to refer to these obvious factors?
One more time, 0. If Superman has kryptonite, then I surely have number theory. So to the power of the n, I just put to the power of Neal. So I have no idea.
Oh. Yeah, this is something that I feel like I should know. I've taken calculus, but it's been so long. And so I think it's something I just made up, and I said implied factorials.
That's interesting. I just decided I would make a reference to a game, and I said Factorio.
They are known as trivial factors.
Oh.
That
makes so much sense.
Who on us?
So what are our final scores, Eric? I know they're not pretty.
All right. At the end here, Neal, your zeros down the line put you in second place in a tie with Matt at 80 points. But Jeff had 91.
Wow.
So we didn't break 100, but we did okay. We did okay.
Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't say that today's cream of the crop is Jeff.
On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are, yeah.
How does it feel, Jeff?
It feels very lonely and isolated.
So you can
at least you have your victory to keep you warm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's my It's my newspaper blanket. So
there you go. Eric, these were great questions. I know we didn't get a lot of them right, but it was all things that were holes in our knowledge. So it'll be great to kind of learn from today and carry on.
Yeah, thanks, guys. They're ones that I've been kind of amassing as we've gone along, as things that we think are fun. Some of them are my wheelhouse stuff. Some of them are my trivia teammates' wheelhouse stuff. So, yeah, hopefully I did not intend for the scores to come out below 100, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed them.
Well, to be fair, if we played together, I think teams would have.
You guys would. Yeah.
We're really a trivia Voltron, and separate we are not as well. So.
Yes, we are not as good alone.
I'm just like
sure.
the sad left leg.
Yeah, right. Do you want to give a shout out to your trivia team at all?
Yeah, so shout out to my trivia team. We have competed for a number of years as the Si Fuego was our trivia team name. We have chosen after the stench of Geek Bowl to rebrand ourselves as fiscally conservative, socially juggalo. So that's our new team name going forward. But hello to Quentin, Kristen, Bob, and Eric, as well as whoever else joins us. As I mentioned, my trivia inspiration, Matt, who's up in Portland now running Yelp. He's the guy who kind of got me really into this, going to his trivia every Tuesday, and it's built a lifetime obsession with this. So it's been fun.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you to your family for giving you a little bit of time to help us here. I know that Mario Party awaits when you're done with this, I'm sure.
It does, and I appreciate the ability to speak to someone over the age of 8 for longer than 5 minutes. So it's been really fun, guys.
Well, yeah, thank you very much, and giving us a few more days, the language might revert back to the age of 8 and some tantrums, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll shout out Quentin, Kristen, Bob, Eric, and Matt as well. Thank you for supporting Eric and having him write this game. For Ken, who's doing that masterclass, let's hope that he has some sort of birdhouse at the end of this. Matt, Jeff, and for Eric and myself, my name is Neal, and that was Triviality.
I went to 4 stores yesterday, and I'm down to half a roll of toilet paper. I'm getting nervous, you guys.